Kevin Owen, you're watching RT, and our top story: thousands of student demonstrators have marched on central London, venting their anger over education cuts and a tripling of tuition fees. It comes almost a year after similar protests in the heart of the British capital descended into violence. Let's get up to speed then with the latest. I'm joined live now by RT's Ivor Bennett. He's keeping across developments for us this evening. Ivor, hi again. The march may have reached its end, but what about the protest? Is it still the size the organisers were hoping for? And indeed, did they get the message across? Was anyone listening, indeed?
Well, the protest has largely died down now. I'm out now at the end point. This is just on the edge of the City of London, the financial district. There's only about 150 protesters left, actually, here. They're hemmed in by police, so no more can join them. They're just waiting for them to disperse. They're playing music, dancing. They've still got some of their placards up, but they're really celebrating what, in the large part, for them has been a successful protest, I would say, because at its peak, it probably didn't near quite the 10,000 the organisers are expecting, but certainly over 5,000. And they came from all over Britain, from as far afield as Scotland, and they came here to campaign against tuition fee hikes, which will see university fees hit £9,000 next year. That's triple what they are at the moment, and also education cuts. And I spoke to some of them earlier today. This is what they had to say.
Education cuts don't ever heal. I mean, this is something that we really need the government to do, because they're cutting off a whole generation of working class students from going to university because it's just unaffordable for them now. So they haven't listened to now. So we're basically just saying, please, one more time, we're doing whatever we can. We're just asking you personally, please, can you just stop what you're doing and reverse the changes?
We believe that the government should be spending money on the people rather than themselves at the moment. And the whole reason why this has happened is not our fault in the first place. So we just want to make sure that the government knows that they should try and look out for the citizens rather than themselves.
Ivor, the big worry as well was about security. There was a worry that things could turn ugly. The same type of thing we witnessed a year ago. Are there any reports of standoffs with police?
There were a few minor flashpoints. The Scotland Yard, the police chiefs for the capital here, they did say that there have been at least 20 arrests made, but that's mainly for people who started throwing sticks and bricks at one point at police. But that was quickly dealt with by the police, who started to use this procedure called kettling, where they stop any protesters from dispersing. They gather them in one place, and that actually was effective today. Some thought that might escalate tensions and violence, certainly after they threatened to use plastic bullets should violence escalate. But actually the protest was carried out for the large part in a very peaceful way today. As I say, only 20 arrests made or so, and that's despite the police's threat to use plastic bullets, which is for the first time for a pre-planned protest in mainland UK. And earlier I spoke to Chris Nynan from the Coalition for Resistance on that matter.
People have all sorts of political views, and I was under the impression that that was allowed in this country. The announcement that was made, the incredibly provocative announcement that was made that there's going to be rubber bullets in preparation for this demonstration, is absolutely outrageous. I mean, if anything was likely to increase the level of tension, increase the level of distrust and the level of fear, actually, of the police, it would have been that. And they have done that, and that's a terrible, terrible thing. No one in their right mind could possibly say that is about trying to keep the day calm. The only role the police should be playing is to facilitate the right to peaceful protest.
Now, last year, the student protest this time last year did flare up, of course, hence why the police have such a great presence this year. And there was a lot of violence last year, but that hasn't been seen this year. And the police are still out in force on the streets, despite most of the protesters evaporating here. There's police on the street were numbered 4,000 today, almost as many as the protests even. That's how serious they were taking this protest. And as I say, the students certainly got their message across. The police are still here, waiting to see if it does kick off again. And we'll continue to keep you updated on Twitter. Our feed is RT London Bureau.
OK, Ivor, thanks very much. We'll be coming back to you later throughout the course of the evening. RT's Ivor Bennett there, a correspondent.